Hey everybody, Alex here with Momentum Charting. Thank you so much for joining me in today's update video. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. And guys, if you have not yet done so, please make sure and jump down below and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. That way you do not miss any updates on the SPY, on broad markets this week. Yeah, we're heading into a period of a lot of uncertainty, guys. So you're definitely going to subscribe to the channel, to keep up to date on a daily basis. So give you guys the absolute best information I can every single day. And right now, guys, this market, it's interesting, and it's also a market that's really I don't know what the best way to put it is. These corrections that this thing has been involved in the past, whatever, 12, 15 trading days, whatever it's been now, it's just been really long, really monotonous, and basically almost to the degree where we're ending up prices here right where we started, and still, to me, absolutely no resolution to this whatever you want to call it, pullback / correction. Guys, let me just, and the reason I didn't come out with a video Friday or Saturday, I've just been really contemplating this market for a few days, looking at some longer term charts, trying to figure out, kind of where we are on this thing and where we're going. And let me just say, I don't totally have an absolute 100% clear picture on that as of yet. But I'm going to give you some basic ideas of kind of a template to follow, how I think the market's going to be, longer term as well as kind of a shorter term and midterm picture. I will give you my opinions on that, which I'm sure is why you're here watching this video, to get my take on things. And yeah, definitely appreciate all you guys, all you subscribers who watch the channel. So thank you for that. But yeah, guys, so this was the original trend line here that we had drawn in place ever since markets started correcting around the 7th of September. And still, guys, this 30-minute trend line, which I had drawn in place back on September 7th, still has not yet broken back to the upside, but it does appear that we're getting kind of close here and kind of up and testing this line of overhead resistance. And let me just briefly tell you here, guys, I'm on a chart. I've talked to you about this chart in the past. It's a chart that I've been kind of examining to try to get a longer term view of markets, and I took down the time frames a little bit, and it acts in a lot of ways like the momentum chart that I like to use a lot of times and that I showed you before, except that it's not quite as reactionary, and yeah, it's kind of a slower moving chart, but has a lot of validity to longer terms. So when you take it down to a micro term, sometimes you can see moves that are happening inside a market that aren't ultimately apparent right away or immediately. And I'm here again, I call this my tricks chart, okay? And I think I brought this chart last time out on when I did the long-term look at Apple. I think that was late last week. If you're interested in that, I kind of explained a little bit about this this indicator and how I use this. But that's neither here nor there for this video, guys. Let me just say that for our longer term, okay, so I'm right here now on a 5-minute time frame, and right now, and I know you guys have heard me say this before, but it bears repeating here, that longer term indicators are almost impossible to use, okay, without taking into account what's happening on these smaller term time frames, okay, because it's the smaller term time frames in every market, in every stock, that are what actually drive the long-term indicators and the long-term time frames, okay? It's impossible just to take like a weekly indicator or a weekly time frame or a daily time frame and just trade off that. I know there's some people that use like strictly support and resistances off daily time frames. Yeah, in some circumstances that can be effective, but I'm talking about trading with the assistance of an indicator, which I do like to use to try to get some confirmation of what I'm looking at on trends, support, all that stuff. So again, guys, I'm going to try not to take up too much of your time here tonight, and I'm just going to say that right now on a longer term time frame, and I can just quickly open that up for you here just to show you what I'm seeing here. Again, I'm on this chart of SPY, okay? Let me go down to what time frame here should I open? Maybe 45 minute. Yeah, let's do 20 minute and 45 minute. So 45 minute. Opening this up here, you guys can see that this has started to roll down, which could potentially be very negative. But again, we need the cooperation, the consistent cooperation of our shorter term time frames in order for this 45 minute trend that's pushing down out to prove out. Okay, and on a 20-minute time frame, also this trick's pushing down, which is not the best, but now let me open up this 5-minute time frame and let me explain to you guys where I'm coming from. Okay, now on these smaller term time frames, again, this 5-minute, the 5-minute and 2-minute on this particular indicator are very, very powerful. Okay, the 5-minute and the 2-minute are very, very powerful. When you have this 5-minute tricks pushing up like this, guys, you do not want to be short markets. Okay, you do not want to be short. So basically, what I believe is going to happen here, okay, just basically judging by kind of the last few times that this and this tricks right now is pushing up at a very, very strong magnitude and a strong degree, which does make sense. I mean, the move off the bottom here, you know, over the past couple of trading sessions has been monstrous, right? Let's see exactly what that move has been. Yeah, right around 3.5%, almost 4% in the period of just a couple of days, right? So it's been a big move off the bottom. So it makes sense that in some degree that this tricks to the upside would be pushing up strongly. But what I'm getting at here, guys, we do not want to try to short a market while this 5-minute tricks is pushing up like this. What we want to have happen is, if we are trying to go short markets right now, we want to let this play out. Okay, we want to let this play out and show its hand if it's going to roll over to the downside, just like happened here around the 7th of September, which is when we noted, I showed you guys something similar before on the momentum charts, where the 7th of September I felt that tides were kind of turning short term in the market. So we want to have a similar thing happen on this tricks if we're going to try to short the markets. We want to let this play out and see what happens, because guys, to me right now, what's likely to happen, even though we have these longer term time frames, for instance the 45-minute and 20-minute pushing down, right, on the midterm time frames pushing down, what can happen when you have a market that's controlled by these smaller term time frames? What can always happen is this thing can push up like this and fake like it's rolling down and then push back up and just blow away all of those longer term / medium term time frame trends and start pushing those all back to the upside eventually. So I know it's a little bit confusing, but I intend to bring this indicator out at least maybe once a week now to kind of play with this a little bit more with you guys. But what I'm saying here, guys, I think that what's going to happen now is maybe over the next, let's say 5, 4, or no, let's say something like the next 4 to 8 sessions, in some degree, this TRIX is going to continue up here, okay? And then sometime maybe around October 5th, October 6th, October 7th, this indicator here that's now pushing to the upside is going to once again roll to the downside, okay? And now, as that TRIX is pushing up here, we just want to be watching price here. And we want to see, I don't know for sure, guys, if right now, what's going to happen to this price if this TRIX does continue to keep pushing up. Now, I don't know, again, the magnitude is strong, but that can change. I don't know if we're going to push up here and break these highs at around 454 area approximately, and I don't know if we're going to come up here and just like do a double top and test this. I don't know if this is going to break up here and just churn for a little bit while it's waiting to push down. But one thing's for sure, guys, if those medium-term indicators that I've been showing you on the 20-minute and the 10-minute do not roll back to the upside yet, and we're going to be watching those very, very carefully. What's going to happen here, guys, when this 5-minute TRIX does eventually roll back to the downside, we are going to get a relatively swift and relatively powerful leg back to the downside here, okay? Now, if tomorrow, and we're going to be watching this as well, guys, we're going to be watching this as well. If tomorrow and maybe Tuesday, Wednesday start showing some extreme weakness in the market, and this 5-minute from these levels starts rolling down here early, okay? If this thing starts rolling down to the downside early, guys, we are going to get a quick and brutal move down in markets, which we will probably here very easily be able to see and be able to take advantage of that in a very, very short-term time frame. And I would say that move down, if it happened, would at least come back down to these levels around 428, if not below that in the short term. So, guys, what I think is happening here is potentially for the next couple of months is we're setting up for a period of time with, yes, some degrees of increased volatility, but I think we're going to be getting a lot of choppy action, maybe in some kind of a range here, maybe for a few weeks or possibly a couple of months. And I think that's kind of what this market seems to be setting up to me now. Again, I don't know if that means necessarily we're going to have a market that's exploding to the upside, passing these highs, coming up here to 457, 460, and then tanking down here, and then pushing all the way back up, and then coming back here, testing this level again. I'm not sure exactly, guys, how this is going to play out, or if it's going to be something more tame. I just have a feeling kind of that's how we're headed right now, and how this market's going to be playing out for the next few weeks or so. So, I don't know, as a trader, there may, if it does indeed do that, go from big peaks to big troughs. We can just play that kind of peak and trough game for a little while. Kind of that's the game that I'm foreseeing this market playing. I'm just foreseeing this market possibly, potentially whipsawing both bulls and bears back and forth for the period of a couple weeks to just frustrate the crap out of everybody until eventually, okay, the market decides to take off again and move higher, which I do believe is going to eventually happen. You guys know very, very well by now, if you're a subscriber to my channel at any time, I am 100% a long-term believer in this market, a long-term bull. Even, guys, if this thing does come here and happen to take markets down on this next turn, this thing comes up here, there's weakness in these areas, or even if we do take out these highs, again, around the 454 area, and this thing comes careening down again to the tune of another 5%, even below this, so the market corrects, say, maybe 10%, 15%, something like that. I don't know. I don't think markets are ready at this point to do much beyond that. I really just am not seeing that happen. But at that point, at that juncture, I believe will be another strong buying opportunity in the market. But if we were to correct like that, I believe once again, to keep with that theme of potential peaks and troughs in the market, I think if we were to pull back that deeply, I think we could do some sort of a V-shape back up to near the top and then pull back again. Maybe not as far, but I'm just anticipating some sort of games in this area for the next few weeks, guys. So that's basically the long and short of where I'm at, guys. I think I've given everything to you, but right now, again, guys, we just want to be really, really careful, really, really cautious. Even if this thing does start pushing up here, breaking this zone at 454, the longer term indicators, a lot of them are showing, guys, a lot of weakness right now, okay? A lot of weakness. And I just want you to be prepared. We need to follow that 2-minute and that 5-minute tricks very, very carefully, you know, to see how that reacts in this area. And I'm going to be following along with this, obviously. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'm going to do my best to do daily updates on this week. If not daily, at least once every other day, because I do want to keep up with this. Been, like I said, over the past couple days, just looking at a lot of different charts, trying to figure out the game that this market is playing right now. And just know that, guys, there is more of an undertone of weakness, okay? A potential undertone of weakness in the broad market right now, more so than there has been in a long, long time. And we do want to pay attention to, and we do want to be very, very cautious and cognizant of the potential that that holds, and the potential that that could create some violent swings, both to the upside and to the downside, as we're following these shorter term time frames, and this tricks 5-minute, 2-minute, everything like that starts reacting off some of these levels. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on this video. Hope you found it somewhat useful. Taken me kind of a couple days to get my thoughts together here on the broad markets, on the SPY, where I think things are going. But I do believe, guys, that this thing here is strong, and I do believe that there is no really immediate danger of this tricks rolling over right now. I just don't think that that's what's going to happen. I don't see this outcome by Wednesday or so. Tuesday, Wednesday, this thing rolling back over to the downside and us taking out the lows here of 429 over the next couple of days. I just don't think that it's going to happen. I believe, guys, that this tricks formation here is going to continue up again for the period somewhere between maybe 5 and 9 days of leading to more strength and more bullishness in the markets this week. Again, going to be monitoring everything very closely, possibly, potentially leading to some bearishness, you know, sometime maybe mid next week, end of next week. Let's watch for all of that, guys. Again, thank you so much for joining me on this video. I will talk to everybody again shortly in the next update. Bye for now.